There is zero doubt in my mind that if you put the name Jet Set Radio on this game, nobody would bat an eyelid and everybody would be talking about it. Developer and publisher Team Reptile have seemingly done what Sega haven't and created what feels like the ultimate spiritual successor to one of my favourite games. Sure, it's not without its flaws, but it combines unique art, fast-paced action, graffiti, an infectious soundtrack, and multiple different modes of transport. Does Bomb Rush Cyberfunk stick its landing? Well, my name's Mark Walker, welcome back to SwitchUp. Now, let's find out. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk has a surprisingly good storyline. It begins in prison, where character FAUX awakes in a cell, only to be broken free by Trice. He's not entirely sure how he got there, but events transpire and he loses his head. He literally loses his head. For a few brief moments, I looked in horror at my daughter, before thankfully it was replaced with a cybernetic head. Now, as you'd imagine, this head doesn't share the same memories or personality, and it becomes apparent that FAUX's head is kept in some sort of chamber, and that you want to get it back. Bomb Rush is the name of one of the crews within this city, and you'll team up with them to work district by district, facing off against the other crews so that you can go all city. Now, there's a code on these streets, and you can't simply go waltzing up to DJ Cyber until you hold the necessary street cred. I want to describe the gameplay in a way that doesn't make it sound like less than it is. The city is split into large districts, and many of these are accessible from the get-go. Before any of that though, you'll start out in a hub. This is the crew's hideout, which is essentially a big playground / tutorial area. It allows you to get to grips with the basic mechanics, grinding on rails, using your jetpack to do small boost jumps, and it's a place you can come back to change outfits, switch to one of the three aforementioned transport methods, more on those later, and of course lets you begin to use your primary weapon, a can of spray paint. Tagging items is the name of the game, and it's all in the name of rep. Reputation is the real currency of this city. The other tool of the trade is a mobile phone, nicely modelled on a classic, the Motorola Razr, and it's from here that you can access the map, your messages, and any graffitis that you found along the way. There are a few other features, like being able to change the music. You are thrust into the first district. Typically, this will see you trying to reach a set amount of reputation. You can do this in a free-flow manner. Tag objects, grind rails, just explore. As you do this, certain crew members will pop up, allowing you to undertake further challenges. These in and of themselves also act as mini tutorials, but by the end of the game become significantly more challenging, in line, I have to say, with the skills the game teaches you. Bomb Rush controls exceptionally well, whether you're on the rollerblades or the BMX, or even the trusty skateboard. While each of them feels slightly different to the other, cleverly they all follow the exact same control set, and it pushes simplicity with 3 moves for different tricks. No need to balance when grinding, but you can lean into corners for a score multiplier, and then a trigger to allow you to manual to keep that combo going. There's wall riding and a nice sprinkling of impossible physics, where clearly Team Reptile's main focus was on a game that was fun and enjoyable, and my goodness have they achieved that.
Easy.
Now, in the corner of the screen, you can actually see a meter which shows the current heat level. As you tag the world, this will raise up, and with each stage, introduces new enemies. Believe it or not, you can actually switch to your feet at any time and just run around normally. In fact, feet is its own method of transport, as there are certain surfaces which can be power slid across. There's even a power sliding racetrack at one point. Combat sees you use a variety of breakdancing moves, and once you've done enough damage to the popo, you can actually tag them before they fly off into the distance. Progressing up through the tiers of the wanted level, you'll face off against snipers as well as turret emplacements, all of which can be dispatched using that primary weapon. Good old can of spray paint. I did enjoy the combat. I thought it was quite fun. It's not the most detailed system, but the wanted level can be a bit of a pain in the arse at times, as it's very easy to build it up, but not as easy to lose it without dying. Your health does respawn, thankfully. Each of the graffitis you have are tied to a specific pattern, and it's not long before you learn these. Now, there are graffitis hidden throughout the game, quite a few of them, and you'll receive many as rewards. I think I was quite surprised by how enticing a reward a new graffiti was, but equally so, new music or new outfits. And yep, there are several skins for your skates or your board. There's just so much stuff to find within the world. Once you've built up the necessary reputation in an area, you'll have to take part in a 2-minute crew battle. This is a crew versus crew face-off where both scores can be seen at the top of the screen, and you'll be tricking it out, doing your damnedest to win that. These are a great way to finish each area, as they require you to use all of the more subtle skills that you'll have learned. But the icing on the cake are the dream segments, which go one step further. Now, I don't want to spoil these because they are kind of linked to the storyline, but they're also just really cool. So I'll show you a few little snippets. I was quite surprised by how good the boss fights are. There are some really well designed ones that will test just how much you've learned. For those who like to find collectibles, there are hidden high fives in each area as well. They are not for the faint-hearted, as they follow a specific route and it's tough. They're optional, which is nice, and in that regard, there's going to be a lot to go back for those wanting to reach 100%. Now, later in the game, you do unlock a taxi, and this takes me on to one negative, but I'll balance it out. Now, on the one hand, you can move freely between the different areas. This is good because each has its own reputation. What I mean by that is, if you had to earn 150 rep in an area, but there was a maximum of 250, you can go back later and do all of the graffitis, finish all of the things, and gradually build that up. It's also nice because it gives a sense of freedom. You can go and explore new places, but when you unlock the taxi, a few minor gripes come to the surface. One of them is there's no fast travel back to the base. This just feels strange. It means going through several load screens to eventually get back to it, and when you are back there, you can't actually switch character there, which is another strange thing, as the way you do that is actually quite cool. You have to find these dance floors and then start a break dance and switch out. Don't ask me why, it just looks good. Unfortunately, to use that taxi fast travel, you have to find the specific taxi sign, of which I think there's only one per area. And there's no mini-map. You have to bring up your phone, which sure, it does stay open, but it doesn't point to those taxis, and the map on the pause screen also doesn't have enough information. What I'm griping at here is that it doesn't really help you navigate enough in a game that's so free-flowing. The basics of navigation could do with some tweaking. You'll see what I mean when you play it. Story and gameplay though, really enjoyable. Very, very fun with tons of content to go back for. I give those 19 out of 20. One slight gripe I had with controls is no lock-on ability. I think this would have helped with some of the combat, but it wasn't a deal breaker. 90% of the control, the movement, and everything in between was absolutely great. The controls score 17 out of 20. What a lovely looking game Bomb Rush is. Everything about it looks good. The models are intentionally low poly, but still stylistic. The animations are spot on. The motion captured dance moves, the contrast in environments. Literally every level introduces a new color palette, new environmental objects, things that you don't expect to see, and they've got a real hustle and bustle about them. Taxis and cars move around. Buses have taggable objects and items on them. You can even grind down a train track. I don't think I've ever taken as many screenshots as I did with this game. Performance wise, well, that's also good. I think I experienced one crash in my entire playthrough, which I'm hoping was an anomaly, but it still will affect the score ever so slightly. The soundtrack is brilliant, and finding new songs was almost as enjoyable as getting those new graffitis. It's cool bringing up the phone and switching to different tracks, and if you get sick of it, you can switch it off. That should definitely be in more games. For me, visuals and performance combined score 19 out of 20, and of course you can use your phone to take photos. I mentioned the music being incredible. Sound effects aren't quite as strong for me. There are a few areas where I would have liked just a few more sound effects. Sound and audio scores 17 out of 20. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is 35 quid, or your regional equivalent that you can see on screen, and while we haven't heard of a physical release yet, I know that other games from this dev did get one, so hopefully we will see something in the near future because it deserves one. Some form of limited edition would be amazing to go alongside a standard release. The amount of things they could have with this, I reckon it would be like a vinyl, art book. There's so much you could tie with this type of game. While for many 36 quid is going to seem like a premium price for an indie game, as I mentioned at the start, I don't think you'd bat an eyelid if this was made and published by Sega. It all fits into 2 gigs. The length of time you're going to get out of it really does depend on you, but it's not short, depending on your skill level. I've really enjoyed it. I give value 18 out of 20. If Team Reptile had set out to make a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, then in my opinion they have absolutely achieved that. With a few little tweaks, certainly relating to the navigation, this score would be even higher, but nonetheless, it still scores a SwitchUp score of 90%. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is one you shouldn't miss. Thanks to the publisher for the review copy. Let us know if you've played this one. I know quite a few people have been saying how much fun they've been having, and as always, yeah, just a big thanks to all of you that enjoy the content. To our Patreons and members, you guys are legends. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!